Terry, the odd man Crouch, joins me in the studio. Hello, Terry.
Hello, yabbers, my babbers.
Many thanks to Terry for joining me today, and it's a very important occasion this week because Terry is launching his brand new DVD. We'll give more details on this in a moment, Terry, but what's the new one called?
It's Terry's Bristolian language lessons.
I must say, it's been very professionally produced, and there's a press launch tomorrow, isn't there?
There is, at the Kitchen Restaurant on Zetland Road.
And this is something you've been doing for a number of years now. You've been promoting the Bristolian accent and the way that we communicate with people.
That is right, our Steve. I started back in 2007 promoting the Bristolian accent, and now it's gone worldwide.
It's gone interplanetary. It's really expanding out. Well, before we talk about that, let's talk a bit about your background. You're from Southmead, aren't you?
I am a born and bred Meader, BS tenor. Got a tattoo on my left bum cheek. It's there. I'm proud for it to be there, Steve.
Nothing wrong with that, and thankfully there is a police station in Southmead. If anything ever kicks off, they can maintain law and order.
Of course, Steve. I mean, yeah, they're there.
And my daughter was born at Southmead Hospital. We've got a super hospital there.
We have got a super hospital. Lovely place. A lot of people born in the Mead. I'm very proud to be from Southmead.
And some very fine pubs. I'm thinking of the Bear and Rugged Staff. I mean, amongst many others.
It's one of these new... I mean, it's the latest gastro pub coming out of Bristol, to be honest, Steve. It's... You know, they've got pie and mash, you know, the standard ales, ciders, to name but a few.
And if you've got a bear, it's the place to go, isn't it?
It is the place, yeah.
OK, now you were born and bred, I say, in Southmead. Did you go to school locally as well?
I went to Filton High School.
Oh, brilliant.
Filton High School, had a great time there. Mr Stevenson, my tutor, lovely bloke, taught me CDT, all the skills that I needed to know.
Yes, because you've forged a career as a sort of odd job man, haven't you?
Odd job man. And, I forged it. In 2007, it got desperate. So that's when I put a video advertising my services, and it just went nuts. It went on the front page of YouTube, and I got supporters all over the world.
Well, it has gone incredibly well since then, and you've done online a number of lessons in the Bristolian accent because people have sort of warmed to this, haven't they?
Oh, they have. They absolutely love it. There's a lot of Bristolians around the world that tune in. Expatriate Bristolians who tune in. They love it, Steve.
Yeah, and it's always heartening when you're abroad and you hear a bit of Bristolian behind you. You think, oh, there's a connection there with a fellow person.
That is right, and they connect with me. They love tuning in. I see myself as almost a reporter of the Bristolian language.
Well, you're promoting it beautifully. In fact, you've gone so far as to go to America, haven't you?
I did. I went to New York. I saved up. My missus put her gyro money aside, and I got a plane over to New York, Steve, and I taught the Americans how to speak proper Bristol.
Yeah, don't forget, Terry's got a bit of money because he doesn't pay tax on all your earnings, do you? It's cash in hand, a lot of it, isn't it?
It is cash in hand, Steve, but thanks for announcing that.
I'm only joking, of course. So he's a proper businessman. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the YouTube sensation. How did it start originally? What prompted you to put something online? Was it purely a plea for work?
It was a plea for work, Steve. Yeah. It was just you going, here, give I work.
Yeah, and did that work? I mean, as far as work goes?
It did work. I had various job offers.
What sort of jobs can you do? I mean, what sort of work can you carry out?
I can do, well, as it says on my van, the slogan, Terry the odd job man, no job too small or tiny or large or massive for me like.
Yeah, you can cover everything pretty much.
I can cover everything as long as I've got tools in my hand.
We'll talk about the dialect in more details at the moment, but you've got a lovely website with all the details. If you put Terry the Odd Job Man into YouTube, it'll come up. I see your influences include the Wurzels. What a seminal band they were.
Oh, they're brilliant. They're a massive influence, Steve, for everyone. I mean, their lyrics, I mean, brilliant.
Yeah, they still speak to people even today, don't they?
Oh, they do. They do. They speak to me. I mean, I can never look up a tree now, looking for a blackbird and go, where be that blackbird to? I mean, we all do that.
I see you mentioned JLC, Justin Lee Collins as well. What a people person he is.
I love Justin Lee Collins. Absolute legend. Proper legend, Steve.
Yeah, he's forged a way for Bristolians to follow now, hasn't he?
Oh, he is. He's put Bristol on the map, apart from various other, actresses such as Cathy Barry and Richard Wyatt.
As well.
Steve Merchant as well. Yeah, it's,
It won't be long before we have an airplane pilot saying, all right, we're ready to take off.
That's right, Steve. I mean, there is a new Bristolian airline, Air Bristol, which obviously with the slogan on the side, Air Bristol, proper, fast, like.
Yeah, which is no connection, I have to say, with Air Hitler. Also on the show today, Bruce Hockin is one of your influences.
Bruce Hockin, the legendary Bruce Hockin.
He's still going, isn't he?
He is still going, Sean. And obviously Sherry Eugene. I love a good old Sherry.
Yeah, oh, she's a lovely woman.
Lovely woman, and her and Bruce together. That'd be the perfect Christmas meal.
Bring them back, I say. Interests include boxing. You like a bit of a punch-up, do you?
I like a bit of boxing. Obviously, like Jane Couch. You know what I mean?
Having said that, everyone praises her because if you don't, she will punch you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying now. And don't say...
What a talent. Yeah.
What a talent, Steve.
Yeah. Dangerous animals is an interest of you. Is this dogs or other animals?
Crocodile. I got a crocodile when I went to Magaluf. You know, they sell little crocodiles on the street. Brought it over.
Yeah.
And me and Lacoste are best friends, basically.
Fantastic. You also admire Richard Branson. I know you've read his autobiography, haven't you?
Read his autobiography. Richard Branson is a massive influence in my life. His entrepreneurial skills.
Yeah. Well, if he can do it, you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, because between you and me, I think you've got more credibility. You know, because he's got a beard. Yeah. You also enjoy Dragon's Den. That's one for your entrepreneurs, isn't it?
Entrepreneur skills, yeah.
Yeah. And the Rocky films, again, that's that boxing connection.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, Apollo Creed, what a legend, what an inspiration. Dalai Lama and Apollo Creed go side by side.
And one of your interests worthy of note, shifting things. You like moving things around, don't you?
I did a course in it.
Oh, right. Was this like a BTEC or something?
A BTEC in, well, yeah, you just go once a week when I was 18, and the course was simply called Shifting Things.
Gosh. And you got some qualification or distinction in that, did you?
I got a distinction, though, just because I didn't turn up for the first 3 weeks.
OK, well, you started giving sort of little lessons on Bristolian on the web. This was off the back of your plea for work, and they went down very well, didn't they?
They went down really well, Steve. I mean, now the people and the outsiders of Bristol, when they come, tourism is increased by 3%, says my dad.
Yeah.
I mean... You know, people are now could communicate with Bristolian. They can order food and drink.
Yeah.
You know, they can chat up women in bars now.
But formerly they were in an awful state, weren't they? Didn't know where to put themselves.
Oh, they didn't know what to do, Steve. They didn't know what to say to him. And all these the Cockney blokes coming back saying, I can't romance Bristolian women. Yeah. Terry, what should I do?
How frustrating for them.
How frustrating, Steve.
Yeah. Now, you produced a DVD called Terry's Gert Lush Guide to Bristol, but this is the new one, your Bristolian language lessons. How many different phrases are included in this DVD?
You've got 60 minutes of Bristolian phrases. You've got, like, how to romance Bristolian women. You've got health, typical health symptoms, popular expressions, travel, you know, like for when you're stuck in Bristol, not knowing what to do, no other transport.
Yeah. Like
What do you do? You go, here, mate, give I a baccy. You know, a baccy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should jump on the back of a bike.
Outsiders wouldn't know that unless they'd studied. OK, how important do you think that local accent is? Because I know a lot of Bristolians are dying off, and not all the young ones have got that thick Bristolian dialect. It's important to retain it. It's a bit like saving the panda.
It is similar to saving the panda. Very well noticed there, Steve. No, it is. It's important that we keep the dialect. We've got a lot of the posh students coming here, and it's sort of mixing out. I mean, our thick Bristolians turn into a bit of posh-Stolian, where they talk a bit like that. You know, it's very pronounced, but they've still got the Bristol burr.
It's a tragedy. Hopefully we get David Attenborough on board and give it a bit
get Attenborough on, yeah.
OK, well, let's go through some of the phrases, and you can tell me when it'd be useful to use these. I mean, my nan still uses the Arca-E, and that's a classic, isn't it?
It is a classic. See, because if someone says something inappropriate or something a bit, you know, says something out of the blue, that's when you go, Arca-E!
Yeah, and it emphasises the point, makes you want to listen even keener.
It listens even more. Arca-E!
Yeah, something I've heard at the football before, all right, me babby.
All right, me babby, all right, me babber. Yeah. Oh, very common, very warm. I think if someone, you know, when someone calls you, like, you feel very warm, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't know about you in this weather.
And you haven't just got to aim it at babies. I mean, you can even aim it at
anyone.
Old people.
Anyone, Steve. You just go, all right, me babber, outsiders, all right, me babber. You're in.
I mentioned your first DVD was your Gert Lush guide, but Gert Lush itself, I mean, that sums up when something is just spot on if you're eating it or an experience that you enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve. So sample, you know, chef, good makes you a good meal. You wouldn't say, oh, compliments to the chef. They wouldn't understand you. What you got to say is, tell our kid that was Gert Lush.
Yeah, and they'll really know how much it moved you and how much you enjoyed it. Another one, our kid done a proper job. I suppose that's something that you get said about you a lot when you do a proper... What do you mean by proper job?
Well, like a proper job, he's done it right. You know, when I knock on the walls, you know, that I built, it's not going to crumble. You know, oh, that kid done a proper job.
It's going to last.
It's going to last, Steve.
Got a quality finish.
It'll last more, just about a month.
Yeah, proper components.
Yeah.
Cidered up is another expression, which is a lovely, colourful way of saying someone has enjoyed themselves on alcoholic apple juice.
That is right, Steve. Yeah, you posh like people in Clifton Village might go, oh, I feel a little bit tipsy. Ooh, 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 ooh. But what we say is, here, I feels right cidered up, mine.
Yeah, and there's the implications, of course, that you might be a bit sort of doolally in the brain, but in a nice way.
In a nice way. If your doolally in your brain goes, here, he's shot away.
Where's it to? Now, that's one you hear an awful lot. Where is it to? Where is it to? Where's it gone? Where's it to? It's just a different way of using the conventional words in different order.
Yeah, you can mix and match as you like. Yeah, my mum says it all the time. Here, tear, where are you to?
Now, you mentioned our mum there as well. That's another one.
Arma, it's Arma, M-U-H.
Yeah.
You know, if you say mum, if I said mum, she wouldn't just turn round. She'd think it were you. I go, ma, she'd turn around.
Yeah. Where's me daps is another one I've seen on T-shirts as well. I mean, daps is another word for plimsolls.
Yeah, that's right, daps. Where's your daps to?
Yeah. Super stuff. Now, if people watch the new DVD, they'll be able to converse with people in the thickest area. I'm talking about the sort of thick accent where people really are impenetrable to other people.
You mean places like Clifton Village?
Yeah, exactly. They'll be able to converse, and get along, and if you have understanding, you get on better, and wars don't happen.
That's right. There's no wars. You know, Bristol City fans and Bristol Rovers fans will hug each other after watching this because they can all communicate.
Yeah, communication's the big deal, isn't it? It's a shame you can't work in Korea with the North and the South, bringing them together.
Well, that's something on the cards as you.
Have you attracted groupies with your work on the dial?
I do. I've attracted groupies all over the world. I had a woman in America was constantly trying to get me over to America to work in her shop as a resident in-house handyman. I do a lot. I've got obviously a lot of people on Facebook who write to me, and it's phenomenal, really.
Now, just briefly, we'll mention some of the reasons why you might want to use these words. So you're ordering food and drink, of course, it's crucial to use the right phrase, isn't it?
Ordering food or drink. So if I was to order, you wouldn't say, may I have a sandwich, please? The Bristolian waitress would not understand you.
No, they wouldn't.
What you got to say is, here, love, guess I an ham and onion roll, please, will they, my darling?
Yeah, and immediately, they're like that.
Yeah.
Serve it up.
Yeah.
Travel, of course, if you're travelling around, it's handy to have the correct phrases as well, isn't it?
That's right, to travel. So, obviously, when you leave, the bus is important. You would not say, oh, thank you, driver, because he would get offended.
Yeah.
What you got to say, Steve, is, cheers, drive. And he'll give you a little cheeky wink and maybe a smile.
Yeah, that's lovely. And you mentioned the women earlier on, and romance is important, of course, if you're chatting up girls. You want to use the correct phrases to crack the nut, as it were.
To crack the nut, indeed, Steve. So you wouldn't say to a Bristolian woman coming back to mine for a coffee, a filter of Colombian coffee. No, they would look at you blankly like.
Yeah.
What you got to say is, here, love, coming back to mine for a cider and a massage? She'd be in there, Steve.
Yeah, and she'd enjoy it. And there's plenty of keywords and expressions in the DVD. Is it filmed in several different locations?
It's filmed all over in the Filton, Southmead, obviously New York. We even got a little studio out in Avonmouth Images Studios as well. But it's brilliant. I mean, the New York stuff is absolutely brilliant. It's very good. The Americans are brilliant.
OK, well, I've only seen bits and bobs of it, but I'm impressed so far. If people want to get hold of the DVD, how can they track one down?
They can come to me at terrytheoddjobman.com. So www.terrytheoddjobman.com. Hopefully in the Bristol Tourism Office are going to hopefully stock them in this week.
Yeah, well, this doesn't bring more tourists to the city, nothing. Well, you mentioned 3% extra. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up
3%,
to 10%.
according to my dad, yeah.
Yeah. Does your dad know anything about this sort of thing?
Well, he is in he does florist, delivers flowers.
Does he? Well, he's got his finger on the pulse.
He just noticed the traffic is more.
Well, that sounds pretty dependable to me. OK, well, the DVD is being launched tomorrow at a local cafe bar. You're going to enjoy yourself. You'll be centre of attention, won't you?
I'm going to love it, Steve. You're going to have a chance to meet my supporters online. Apparently we've ordered in a massive warehouse full of Natch cider in there,
Yeah.
There you go.
OK, well, let's hope they secure the fittings. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in today, Terry. If people want more details, that website address one more time.
terrytheoddjobman.com. Follow I.
Lovely. Thanks for coming in.
Cheers, our babber.